Hello and welcome to another Mathematical Learning Center tutorial. Right now we're going over balancing chemical equations, a very important aspect of the mathematical you'll be using. So what you see here is just a basic unbalanced chemical equation. Notice how there are no coefficients to balance it. You have 1 mg in the reactant side, 1 mg in the product side, but you might have something like 1 Cl on the reactant side and 2 Cl on the product side. That's not balanced, and our goal is to fix that. The first step is to insert a table. So go to table, new. We need 4 rows and 2 columns. All this other stuff, don't worry about it, it's fine. And now let's go ahead and enter in all of our variables and elements. So on the right side, the second column, what we're doing is we're entering in the variables. There's 1 mg in part A and an mg in part C. So what we're going to type is A equals C. Simple enough, right? So for oxygen, we have 1 in A and 1 in D. Complete the rest, just follow suit. You can see there's 1 H in B. Notice how there's 2 H's in D. That because of this subscript, you need to pay attention to that. There aren't going to be any coefficients because it's not balanced, but again, subscript is very important. And with Cl, we have 1 here and 2 here because of more subscript. So after that, we're going to go ahead and clear all of our variables. Very important to always, well, you should always clear your variables. You might not have to, but it's wise. And then we're going to reduce. Just type in everything you have in the table over again, except for the original element names. And then on the right side here, what we're doing is we're listing out the first 3 variables, not the last one, D. We don't want that, because when we evaluate, you'll see this. A equals D, B equals 2D, C equals D. We're putting these in terms of D, because what we're going to do is enter in a static value, a value that stays the same, an integer for D, and then mathematical will solve the equation for us. So let's go ahead and just say D equals 1. Now when I evaluate this, there you go. It'll give me the necessary coefficients that I need to complete this. You don't have to put 1, but I will. We put a 2 here, a 1 here, and you can put a 1 back here because, remember, you entered that in earlier. And here you have it, a basic balanced chemical equation. What we have here is just another basic unbalanced chemical equation. This one is a little bit more complex. The variables are more complex. It has fractions, but this is why I'm running it through with you. So let's continue. Same thing as last time. The first column is just elements. Second column, we're going to enter in variables. So let's look at Cu. It's in A, so equals, and here it is in C. So with H, we have 1 in B and 2 in E. Subscript. N is a bit different this time. We have our B here, but we have 2 in C. This affects that. And we have 1 in D. So what do? We add D to it. And this brings us to O, which is the most complicated out of all the variables. This 2 multiplies to 3 to get 6 of them. And then we have 1 in D and 1 in E. Next, we simply clear all of our variables. And then we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to reduce. So just type in everything over again. Be sure to use 2 equal signs, not just 1. That's not going to work if you do that. Like this. That will not work. And we list our values again. We're not going to list E because we want these in terms of E. Last time we wanted them in terms of d because d was the last variable, but this is different. We have an added variable. Ew, gross. Fractions, right? We don't like fractions. They look complicated. We don't want to see them. It's not clean. So how do we get rid of them? We need to find a common denominator. So what's the common denominator? The least common denominator with 4 and 2. 4. So instead of d this time, e, we're entering the value for e. Let's see if this works. It does. We have our new coefficients. So let's go ahead and enter these in. And don't forget to go back to e, or your last variable, or whatever that is, and enter in the value that you entered in. There you have it. A bit more complex, but simple enough.